The PlayStation 3 era is in its twilight, and as its long, storied run comes to a close, it seems only right to look back on the many incredible experiences it gave us. Without further ado, here's IGN's Top 25 PlayStation 3 games. Fez's reverence for video games, the lovely soundtrack, hilarious inside jokes, and mysterious wonder are the claws that dig its hooks in deep. Mind-bending puzzles, insane alien languages, and risk-free exploration make Fez's delightful, nostalgic world a joy to wander. It borrows liberally from many things, but Fez is still unlike anything else on PlayStation 3. The original Dead Space is one of the PS3's most atmospheric and disturbing experiences. The game's recurrent enemies, necromorphs, are reanimated corpses stretched into macabre shapes. They're horrifying and can be killed only by strategically hacking off limbs using Isaac Clarke's arsenal of modified engineering tools. Although the series changed significantly with each entry, the original is an authentic and diverse work of horror. Few first-person shooters set their sights as high as Bioshock Infinite did, and though it struggled to reconcile its relentlessly action-packed pace with its thoughtful thematics, it still soared to impressive heights. The floating city of Columbia is one of the most memorable locales in recent gaming memory, and it's filled with characters who are equally memorable. Even through the near-constant ringing of gunfire, Booker, Elizabeth, and the twins left an indelible mark on the PS3. Heavy Rain, a bleak murder mystery where players guide several different characters through a hunt for a serial killer, may fumble through a wince-worthy cliché on occasion, but overall, it's a very sophisticated work. One that can and will adjust to the decisions you make, even if they result in the deaths of the main characters. Its narrative branches and endings are obviously finite, but the fact you get to play an active part in defining which ones you see in your game makes Heavy Rain a properly memorable journey. South Park: The Stick of Truth succeeds so brilliantly because it feels just like playing through an epic season of the show itself. The writing is absurd, shocking, and hilarious. The actual RPG combat could have been an afterthought, but here too, The Stick of Truth succeeds. The entire polished experience is a must-play. Each act of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots feels almost like its own game. The tone, the approach, and the way an aging Solid Snake gets the job done vary significantly. This is a massive and ambitious stealth game with memorable characters, huge story payoffs, and satisfying combat. Yes, Guns of the Patriots has a lot of cutscenes, but they're the interesting and surprising results of your unforgettable infiltrations. Notable for its gorgeous scenery, vibrant colors, and serene soundtrack, Flower is unlike anything else on PS3 or other platforms for that matter. Throughout its relaxing, stress-free discovery, Flower subtly conveys a story of life, destruction, fear, and rebirth. It has something to say about nature, humanity's destructive tendencies, and whether or not the two can coexist. But Flower is just as enjoyable as a game without its message, one where you explore a dying world, discover the tasks required to resurrect it, and move on having accomplished something beautiful. Focusing on the human side of the zombie apocalypse is admittedly already in the spirit of the comics upon which the game is based, but Telltale's The Walking Dead also forces you to make the tough decisions you have to live with. The relationship between Lee and Clementine, a child character of rare authenticity, is executed with incredible finesse. The Walking Dead isn't a game about slaying zombies, it's a game about what happens to people in a world gone to hell. Dark Souls is one of the most brutally challenging but ultimately rewarding games of the past decade. Its combat design is superb, but requires your utmost attention at all times. But aside from the challenge, the world of Dark Souls contains an impeccable sense of geography that harkens back to Zebes in Super Metroid or the castle in Symphony of the Night. If you're willing to put in the time and effort it takes to learn its intricacies, Dark Souls rewards you with one of the most satisfying adventures in recent memory. Far Cry 3's Rook Island establishes itself from the first moment as a lethally insane setting filled with an equally off-kilter collection of villains. It often feels like protagonist Jason Brody, and indeed virtually every other member of the cast, are losing their minds. This narrative emphasis on insanity and control is a perfect fit for the open-world FPS gameplay. You can clear an enemy compound through careful traps, planning, and stealth, or just roll a jeep covered in C4 directly into the center square and pull the trigger. Far Cry 3 feels totally unhinged, and it's fantastic. Riffing off of such arcade shooters as Asteroids and Robotron 2084, Super Stardust HD brought an age-old genre to the PS3 with renewed life. Vibrant and addictive, it's still one of the most replayable games on the platform. Like Housemarque's other works, its appeal is that it's a pure game, one that recognizes skill and rewards those few who are patient and determined enough to master its mechanics. Players return time and time again, even now years after its release, to take one more shot at their high score. Infamous 2 made Cole McGrath not only more likable as a character, but played on the bald and gruff main man stereotype by giving the formerly bland hero heart and personality. The breadth of its New Orleans-inspired setting, New Marais, and its swampy fringe are Sucker Punch's greatest achievements here, but there are also cool new powers, a fun superhero story, and a surprise series of twists to drive home Infamous 2's powerful endings. Few games deal with personal, emotional issues quite as adeptly as Catherine does. Atlus's superb puzzle game hooked us with its smart 3D block challenges, but where it truly distinguishes itself is in its characters, setting, and themes. Thanks to its strong writing and thick atmosphere, the rut Vincent has fallen into as a stuck 20-something rings true, and his interactions with friends, family, and lovers are handled with a surprising amount of subtlety. By opening up the environment, Arkham City affords Batman the freedom he deserves. The already peerless combat was tuned further, making players feel even more like the Dark Knight than ever before. But more than that, it was Rocksteady's approach to the source material that made Arkham City so vital. While it's obviously reverent of the established mythos, Arkham City is never afraid to adapt freely, carving its own unique take on the legend. Everyone remembers Uncharted 3 for its grandstanding action and gorgeous visuals, and rightfully so. But Drake's deception is punctuated by some deeply poignant moments too. The scene in which Drake wanders the desert alone, guided by starlight, is sublime. But Saturday morning matinee action is what Uncharted built its reputation on, and some of the set pieces in Drake's deception put even modern Hollywood's efforts on notice. Featuring a young boy heartbroken over the loss of his mother, No Kuni's epic adventure will be worth taking just to experience the game's gorgeously realized world. Thankfully, the rest of No Kuni is just as exceptional as its visuals. From its Pokemon-esque monster collecting and training, to its unforgettable soundtrack and thoughtful side quests, No Kuni is solid proof that you can make a highly produced JRPG without cutting corners or dumbing it down. There are many things that Valve's superb sequel does so incredibly well. The spectacular writing and impeccable voice work helps provide a constant string of smart, hilarious moments. The inclusion of new types of surfaces made for some of the trickiest but most rewarding puzzles in recent memory. Most importantly though, the general world building and expansion of the original Portal's universe helped Portal 2 tell one of the most memorable stories of the generation. The grand, decrepit post-apocalypse of Fallout 3 is both depressing and engaging all at once. Discovery is king here, with players finding fascinating secrets between brutal battles with wasteland warriors. The VATS combat system makes those encounters memorable, often punctuating them with explosive headshots, crippling leg shots, and other devastating kills. Fallout 3 capitalized on the humor and believability of the franchise's world while modernizing it beautifully for PS3. Guiding our own personal Commander Shepard through BioWare's space opera trilogy was an epic generation-spanning experience. Watching the decisions we made, relationships we built, and the universe we helped define over the course of the 3 games was an experience wholly unique unto itself. Regardless of your opinion on the trilogy's divisive conclusion, it's hard to criticize the way it successfully balanced poignant character moments with some truly massive sci-fi set pieces. Grand Theft Auto V received immeasurable praise for its incredibly expansive city of Los Santos and the unparalleled attention to detail it contained. But GTA V's greatest feat is how it marries this incredible world design with high-quality gameplay. The game is a perfect combination of satire, story, and pure sandbox fun. Want to experience a crime drama filled with pathos, betrayal, and tension? GTA V has that. Want a BMX bike down a mountain in your underwear? GTA V has that, too. Red Dead Redemption is the best Western video game ever made. It nails details both big and small to create the uncanny feeling that you're actually playing in one of those spaghetti westerns you always see when flipping through cable television. Hero John Marston's story of redemption is well worth experiencing, spanning the frontier and back, all leading to an explosive and unexpected climax. The underwater world of Rapture is the star of Bioshock, one of the most memorable games of the generation. Uncovering the mystery of its messy history is one of the best experiences we've ever had in games, with iconic characters, horrifying enemy encounters, and fabulously realized environments. The human story which pulls the uncertain main character along is a timeless achievement, one that examines the caveats of free will and the nature of play itself. Uncharted 2's fantastic opening sequence is without question one of the most memorable first stages of any video game on any platform ever. Wounded and bleeding, Drake's frantic and exciting climb to safety is brief, but it's the moment that defines Uncharted 2, as it made it virtually impossible to walk away from. Aside from its sequel, there really isn't anything on PS3 or anywhere else that can match its best-in-class visuals, its stunning set pieces, its perfect cast of characters, or its brilliant balance of humor and high adventure. That game company's third project on PS3, Journey, provided us with a short but unforgettable adventure. Despite never seeing what the Wanderer looked like under its flowing robes, we connected with our nameless partner in a manner that few games allow us to. The beautiful world, gorgeous score, and genius use of anonymous multiplayer make it one of the most memorable experiences of this past generation. The Last of Us encompasses everything that makes this medium special by marrying intense stealth combat with a heart-wrenching story, featuring unforgettable characters struggling to survive in a harsh world. Joel and Ellie's relationship ranks among the best in gaming, and the lengths to which they'll go for one another push The Last of Us into thematic territory that few games dare venture into, allowing it to stand tall as the definitive PlayStation 3 game. So that's it for our top 25 PlayStation 3 games. How does it stack up to your list? Sound off in the comments below, and for all things PlayStation, keep it right here on IGN.